The energy crisis due to the conflict in the Middle East are taking centre stage at the ASEAN Leaders Summit. The Bloc's chair, the Philippines, says the group needs to be better prepared to handle emergencies and crises. Secretary of Foreign Affairs Maria Teresa Lazaro, speaking to foreign ministers at the start of the two-day summit in Cebu, described the war in Iran as a timely opportunity to assess the group's progress on urgent priorities, including protecting food and energy security.
For ASEAN, which imports about 66% of its crude oil, this crisis meant significant increase in fuel and energy cost, which eventually led to higher prices for agricultural inputs, food and basic commodities. The crisis also caused disruptions in some sectors, including transportation and tourism, and put at risk millions of ASEAN nationals in the Middle East.
Meanwhile, leaders of Thailand and Cambodia are also meeting on the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit. The two neighbours engaged in deadly fighting last year, and a current ceasefire holds with no formal resolution. The Philippines is taking part in the talks as well. Well, for more, our senior correspondent Melissa Goh joins us live from the summit in Cebu, Philippines. Mel, first of all, talk to us about those discussions between Thailand and Cambodia on the sidelines of the summit.
Well, indeed, the spotlight was on the trilateral meeting. It went on for over an hour. Now, it was arranged by the ASEAN chair, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., to get the Bloc its own house in order ahead of the Leaders' Summit on Friday to prevent the border conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia from diluting the agenda. Now, the energy crisis is real and is affecting every member state and its people for more than 2 months now. So ASEAN cannot have another flare-up in its own backyard. Now, the meeting went on, as I said, for over an hour. Now, for starters, President of the Philippines said both sides agreed to extend the ASEAN Observers team for another 3 months till July and maintain open communications through peaceful dialogue and constructive engagement. Now, it's time for peace and no longer a time for war, President Ferdinand said. Now, while both Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet stressed on rebuilding trust and re-establishing a framework for lasting peace by reviving joint border councils and strengthening the role of the observers team to verify, to ensure the ceasefire implemented correctly, the borders, both sides said that, cannot be changed through force and must be resolved through international laws. Now, while the Thai counterpart, Anutin Chanvirakul, echoes similar wishes to rebuild trust, both leaders have also tasked their foreign ministers to follow through. Now, it's a start. There's no mention of pullback of troops. The ceasefire appears fragile for now, and how long will it last remains to be seen.
All right, back to the summit proper. The Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Maria Teresa Lazaro, called on ASEAN to be better prepared and also to assess the group's progress in areas such as protecting food and energy security. What sort of moves or responses were made towards this?
Well, in the draft joint communique that was cited by some of the local media here, leaders from the 11 ASEAN member states, they pledged unity and collective commitment to ensure that this region continues to remain open and stable. Now, Philippines as the whole also called for expeditious ratification of the ASEAN Petroleum Security Agreement that facilitates sharing of fuel through joint stockpiling, for example, as a way to assist countries facing fuel shortage, even though it's voluntary and on commercial basis. Now, Philippines Foreign Secretary Lazaro also highlighted almost 70%, as you mentioned, 66% of ASEAN energy needs come from outside the region, and majority of the member states are net importers of oil, and they're vulnerable to external shocks, such as Middle East crisis. Now, that has profound impact on ASEAN as a whole, so strengthening energy security and resilience and safeguarding food security in the region are priorities when leaders meet tomorrow. Also, leaders have pledged to make further headways in the digital and economic and green economic realm with DEFA, which is a digital economic framework agreement slated for signing end of this year, as well as further implementation of the ASEAN Power Grid to deepen connectivity and energy security. Now, the positive trajectory of ASEAN with growth slated to reach 4.5% this year appears intact. This is time to self-strengthen, to continue to build capacity for long-term resilience of ASEAN.
Mel, thanks so much. Melissa Go there reporting live from the summit in Cebu, the Philippines.